Welcome to another episode of the Biblical Resolutions Podcast, brought to you by the House of Jacob Bible Study Class, located at 2515 East 75th Street in Chicago, Illinois. And I want to remind the listeners to please follow the Biblical Resolutions Podcast by going to our podcast page, which is hojbible.podbean.com. You can also follow us on the House of Jacob Bible Study Class's main website, which is thehouseofjacob.org. And today we are bringing you episode number 39. And the title of episode number 39 is My Brother, My Oppressor. And we have Brother Joel from Detroit on this podcast today. And Brother Joel, I want to thank you for being on this episode, brother, and sharing the word of God with the listeners.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, brother, in Jesus' name.
Yes, sir. So, me and Brother Hisamak, we talk all the time, about different episodes and titles and things like that. And so my intention was, like, for the next maybe 2 or 3 podcasts is to kind of have them almost like a 3-part series.
Okay.
Really, I don't have a actual name or title for the series, but these next 2 or 3 podcasts are kind of designed to go together. So what we dealing with, man, is my brother, my oppressor. And basically we looking at, man, how as a nation, we've fallen, and in any nation, but specifically, in this Bible, specifically, it's all about Israel and what happened to Israel. So, but we looking at that the majority of the time, the ones that are we've been oppressed by, a lot of times it's our own people.
That's right.
And we do each other, we treat each other just as bad and sometimes even worse than the other nations do. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna look at, we're gonna go through the book and just look and see that this has been going on since the beginning. Right. That your oppressor, one of your main oppressors is your own brother, right, your own people, your own kinsmen. And this is what brought Israel down. This is one of the main things that brought them down, that destroyed and got them thrown into captivity, because not only did they serve other gods, but they oppressed each other. So what we see happening in our neighborhoods, it's been going on for a long time. Right. This ain't nothing new that just, came up. Us killing each other, using each other, extorting each other. Our forefathers was doing that back in the land. Right. And that's one of the things that got, one of the reasons that they got, cast out of the land. And this will bring down the nation. This will cause a nation to fall if you continually oppress your own people. If you continually do the things that we do to each other now, this destroys a people. So, I want to pick it up at 1 John, the 3rd chapter, though, because we want to look at the first example of a brother oppressing his own brother. Right. In this instance, he killed his brother. But, this is, we going to see this all through the book. And when we kind of like really pay attention to this, hopefully we can be more mindful of how we treat each other.
That's right.
Um, and that's the whole goal of the podcast. The podcast is our goal is to, you know, help each other and help the listeners become better servants, um,
Amen.
and bring out the things that we need to walk according to how the Lord set it up. Um, so we're gonna go to First John, the third chapter, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 11. First John 3 and 11. And when you get it, brother, go ahead and read it.
All right. But this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
Now he slew his brother, but it's telling you he did that because, you know, his works was evil.
Right.
And his brothers, you know, was righteous. And this goes on today. You know, when you're not doing well, or when you see somebody trying to be upright, you see them trying to walk uh, and be peaceful
Mm-hmm.
with everybody else. When you see them trying to love their neighbor, some people hate that,
Right.
and you know they wanna attack you, or, you know, try to do something to you because they can't stand that you trying to be peaceful
Right.
and they not. And so because his works was evil and his brothers wasn't, all of a sudden that caused him to kill him.
Mm.
Um, it drove him to do that. But that was his brother,
That's right.
right?
That's
Same,
right.
they had the same mother, same father, but he killed him because his works was evil and his brother was righteous. And the book even tell you, you know, the one that's going to depart from evil and make of himself a prey.
That's right.
You know, when you decide that you're going to depart from evil, when you decide that you're going to try to walk in love like the Lord command us, then you're going to have people that's going to hate you
Yeah.
because they see you trying to do right, and they evil, or they got evil works. Hey, they coming for you, you know, because that's the nature of the beast, so to
Yeah.
speak. That's, you know, that's how some people operate. Um, so look, he slew his brother, but this was back in the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, it right out the gate almost. You got a brother oppressing his brother. In this case, he killed him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. Marvel not, my brother, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abide in him.
He said, look, he that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Mm.
And this is a serious statement here, you know, because a lot of times, man, in the past, and even now, when you in the wrong state of mind, you know, we walk around sometimes with that hate.
Yeah.
Um, we see people, we don't even know them, and you know, you got some kind of animosity. They look at you funny, you look at them funny back. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but you know, this is the seed of hate.
Yeah.
And this is what we have toward each other, as a people. We look at each other as strangers,
Mm-hmm.
uh, as we don't feel that kinsmanship. A lot of us,
Right.
you see another person that's going through the same struggle you going through, that look like you, but you feel no connection to them.
Mm.
And when there's no connection, man, that's a easy way for that hate to creep in. But he said, look, the one that loveth not his brother abideth in death. I don't care how much knowledge you got or none of that.
Hmm.
If you can't love your brother, you are bad in death. You can have knowledge of the scriptures. You can know this book back and forth, but if you hate your brother, you are bad in death.
Right.
And this is what continues to one of the things that continues to just bring us down as a people. You know, this is one of the root causes of why we in captivity, of why those curses got uh, uh, put on us, because we hated each other.
Yeah.
We didn't love each other, and so the land was filled with violence. It was all kind of wickedness going on. And then, hey, that displeased our God, and what he did was he said, I'm gonna get you up, I'm gonna get you up out of here.
That's right.
You ain't gonna defile this land. Y'all gonna act like this. Then I'm gonna send you out. I'm gonna scatter you. And since you like doing that so much, I'm gonna let these other nations go upside your head.
Hmm.
Since that's what you like to do. But even in our captivity, we doing the same thing to each other in our own neighborhoods. So Cain and Abel, the first example of a brother oppressing his brother, violence, not from somebody outside, but from his own brother. Um, so we want to keep it going though. Did you want to add anything to that, brother? I apologize.
Nah, you spoke it well, man. Hey, the Lord gave us, laws on how we ought to love one another and treat one another. And yet, just like today, if you see your brother doing better than you, that jealousy or that envy brings up,
Right,
all type of wrath and uh, covetousness. People want to take what you got. They don't want to work. So, I mean,
right,
the world can, if they would just abide by what's written in this book, we would be in a better, situation. But we sound like, we madmen and women, and they mock us as soon as
right,
we come out with "Thus said the Lord," So
right,
all I can say is,
right,
man, when I first read about Cain and Abel, I was like, what type of relationship was this? You know what I'm saying? And
right.
we got it today. Brothers are killing brothers and family killing
Yep,
families. So
yep, yep. We're gonna move right along. Let's go to Genesis 37,
okay,
because I'm just trying to let the listeners see that you know this is something that we see over and over
yeah,
in this book. Um, it's not anything that's something that happened here and there. This was something that happened a lot,
yeah,
and it's something to be mindful of, because I don't want to oppress my brother.
that's right.
If I'm gonna walk in love, if I'm gonna walk in the love of Christ, then I have to check myself. I gotta be mindful that I can't oppress my brother. I can't make his life no harder than it already is.
Right,
You see what I'm saying? And he shouldn't be trying to oppress me and make my life any more difficult than it is.
that's right.
We supposed to be trying to support each other and lift each other up. And we're gonna keep saying that on this podcast. So
Right,
if all the people want to hear is some secret knowledge, again, you got to go listen to another podcast, because
right,
this is about the uplifting and the bettering of the servants of God, and us being aware of the problem. The best way to be healed and to become better is to understand the problems.
right,
It's to understand the ailment that's going on. That's how you can heal the body. Is to understand what exactly the ailment is, what's the cause of it, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the root cause of, uh, why why we act the way we act with each other,
Mm-hmm.
why we in this captivity. And one of the things again is, look, we oppressed each other.
Right.
You know, be- before we was taken into captivity and scattered all over the earth, we was afflicting each other. We was
Mm-hmm.
oppressing each other. But let's go to Genesis 37, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 3. We're gonna skip around a little bit. Um, and we wanna look at Joseph here.
Okay.
Genesis 37, and pick that up at verse 3.
All right. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors.
Uh-huh.
And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceable unto him.
So as you see now, they hated him because his father
Mm,
loved him, more than all his brethren.
right,
So that's where the hatred came in. It came in because, I mean, man, he loved him more than he loved me,
right.
right? So now all of a sudden, you taking it out on the person who ain't got nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't help how his father felt about him, but he was the one that was going bear. He was going to bear the wrath of his brethren. They was going to take it out on him. And this is what happens. If you got brothers and sisters, when one get a little bit more favor, sometimes you might get in that mode where, man, you start to hate them,
Right.
because you feel like man, they love them more than me, and that might not be the case. But nevertheless, his brothers hated him, and now what is this? What is this hate going? What is it going to bring? What's going to be the fallout? Because now they want to do something to him. Skip down to verse 18.
Okay. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
Now this is his own brothers.
Right.
They conspiring to kill him. His
Right.
brothers. This is what I want people to understand. This is something that's not, it's not uncommon. This has been going on for generations.
Right.
Listen, they hated him, and because they hated him, they started to plot to see how they could kill him.
Right.
Keep going. Verse 19.
Okay. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh.
Uh-huh.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him in some pit. And we will say, Some evil beasts have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams.
So, hey, look, they wanted to kill him, slay him. They didn't even care about how his father was going to feel, how that was going to affect their father, his mother, none of that.
Yeah.
Because that's what hate does. Hate makes you want to kill. It will drive you to kill even your own brother. That's why we got to be careful when you around here, when we around here and we let this hate, this hatred, this envy, all of this stuff creep into your mind, because again, you would do anything to a person if you truly hate them.
Right.
You apply. You would do anything to them. And this is why it's so important for us to understand that we're supposed to be walking in love, and you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself, because that's gonna prevent a whole lot of sin from happening.
Yeah.
If we walk in love. But once you take love out of the equation and it's hatred, then you got a bunch of sin, destruction. You got all that going on. How can a family, stand if everybody in the family hate each other?
Right.
That family gonna fall apart. How
Mm.
can a nation stand if everybody hate each other?
Right.
If everybody's oppressing their own brother or sister, how can a nation stand? How can it thrive? It's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
It's gonna be destroyed.
Mm.
So here's Joseph. Now his brother's trying to kill him. Now he ain't did nothing to them. But they got in their mind because their father loved him more. That now the hate done came in, and now what follows that a lot of times is now look, let's find out, let's kill him. So
Mm.
we're gonna skip down to verse 26.
All right. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content.
So now look, he gonna come and halfway speak something, man. How we gonna that is our brother.
Yeah.
We can't kill him, man. But what we could do is let's sell him.
Right.
Let's throw him, man. Let's just sell him in. Let's sell him into bondage, man. You know, uh, that way, man, it ain't really gonna be on us because they trying to figure out. He trying to justify the fact that they really want to get rid of him.
Right.
So we ain't gonna kill him because he is our brother. But hey, man, let's just sell him.
Yeah.
And everybody was content. They was like, okay, cool, let's sell him.
Right.
But this is his brothers. his brothers all sitting together like, yeah, that's a good idea, man. Nah, we ain't gonna kill him, but we gonna sell him in the bondage.
Yeah.
This is brothers doing this to brothers. This is them oppressing their own flesh and blood.
Yeah.
And that's how deep that hatred can get.
Yeah.
And no matter who it is, it could be somebody in your family. It could be whoever. When hatred enters in, it's a slippery slope. So they hated him. They was gonna kill him, but they said, "Nah, we ain't gonna. We gotta be halfway. We can't be 100%.
Yeah.
Foul. So let's just sell him. But
Yeah.
that's the justification that come in.
Yeah.
Instead of you thinking about just how can I just not be wrong at all. I don't want to be foul at all. Let me just do right. We sit back sometimes and we think about, okay, I don't want to be 100% wrong.
Right.
So let me be a little bit right.
Right.
And then I still do something foolish, but I ain't gonna do it all the way. I'm just gonna, do it halfway.
Yeah.
Which don't even make no sense, but that's how flesh is when you trying to justify in your mind why you're going to try to do something that you ain't got no business.
That's
But
right.
they afflicted their brother. They oppressed him because they sold him off. And again, this is the this is the same thing going on and on and on. All through this book is going on in the world today. And your oppressor, a lot of times, is going to be your own people.
That's
It's
right.
going to be your own family, your own kinsmen. That's who going to be your worst oppressor
That's right.
a lot of times. And we need to really think about that and stop looking. We look outside to the other nations that oppress us, but we don't put that same energy into how we oppress each other.
Right.
Because if we want that, if we looked at each other like that and we focus on, look, let's stop doing this to each other. If we put the same energy into that, then we'll be a lot better off.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. It's almost like it's okay if we kill each other or we knock each other upside the head.
Right.
We
Yeah.
don't want to talk about that.
Right.
We don't want to talk about how we extort each other. We don't want to talk about none of that. All we want to do is talk about how the other nations is doing it to us.
That's right.
But at some point, we got to come to the realization that, look, man, what person gonna respect you if they see you doing it? If they see you doing it to each other, why would they feel? Why would they feel bad about it?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just on a carnal level. I'm not even talking about. I understand why we in the we under we under these curses. The Lord put this captivity on us, but I'm just saying in the straight up, just on a natural level. If I see your brother mistreating you, smacking you around, just dogging you out, why why would I feel bad about doing the same thing to you?
That's right. Yeah.
Um, if I'm not a compassionate person, you know what I'm saying? If I'm just not a compassionate person, hey man, your own brother treats you like that. So why do I care?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Some people think like that.
Yeah.
And we gotta really understand that, hey, if we respected each other a little better, then we might get some better results. But let's keep moving on with the lesson, man. I don't want to be on my soapbox,
All right.
but
Yeah.
but I'm just really trying to get the listeners to see that your brother is the one that's going to press you
That's right.
in a lot of situations. It's going to be your own. But you want to go to Joshua.
Yeah. Joshua 7. Because like when we reading about oppression and in the household, um, Israel had just came out of Jericho, and here it is. They were already given the commandments not to do certain things, not to covet, not to lie, steal, commit adultery. They were already given that. And here's Joshua, they're fighting in AI and they're losing the battle because one of the family members did something that he wasn't supposed to do. And they
Right.
couldn't understand why they was losing this war. And the Lord had to tell them, hey, y'all done sinned and y'all done, did this. And this brother was keeping it on his hat. And this type of oppression will show you that there's a twist side to it. Not only could you affect your whole family, like the nation, but you can affect your own family from your decisions from this oppression in this way, from doing things that you shouldn't. So, Joshua 7:20.
And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done.
So now he about to spill what he did. Go ahead.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
So he done covered it. So he already admitted, yeah, I covered it and I put it in my tent and I got the silver over it. Now the Lord had already told him this is why they were losing the battle. So now verse 22.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran into the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord.
Now, go ahead.
And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor.
Now the Lord had him, they were given message, hey, get everything that he owns, everything, his family, everything that he has, and bring them forth. And this is what happens sometimes when you covet, when you do things against the commandment, you can hinder the whole nation. That's why right now, we got certain nation, part of the nation that's doing righteous. There's a little sanctuary here for us. But in a whole, we all in trouble. You know what I'm saying? As a whole nation. That's why we still under these curses. Things in our neighborhood are never right. And like you said, our brothers oppress us. You walk down the street and see your brother doing something wrong, you won't say nothing. So the other nations come in, they ain't gonna do nothing about it, and we can use that money. So they use the same thing. But the Lord
Right.
is saying, get all these people together. So Joshua did this, and look what Joshua said at verse 25.
And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones.
So the Lord, troubled them. This wasn't just Joshua coming up on his own free will and all the children of Israel, oh, we just want to stone you. No, they knew something was wrong, and the Lord, they got answer from the Lord to do this. So he said, Joshua said, the Lord is going to trouble you now, because you done caused us to get smited by AI while we trying to take care of business. So the Lord took care of that business by destroying that wickedness among the people. So we can learn that, when you do things like this to hinder your brother, the Lord is looking at that. And in the end, the Lord is saying, I'm going to deal with you too. So it'd be wise that you realize that, hey, man, I know it's wrong. So just like, you got people rob a bank and then they go hang out at your house, man. You know what I'm saying? We doing all that money. Well, I just robbed a bank.
Right.
You're like, well, wait a minute, man. You can't sit up in here then. But you got
Right.
brothers that'll let them sit in there. And when the police come, they taking everybody.
Right. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that's a good point too, man, because he got his family killed
Yeah,
along with him. And like you said, it's a twist. It's a twist on that because he was the oppressor
yeah.
because of his sin.
That's
He
right.
oppressed. He was the oppressor of the nation because they went out there and other people got killed in the battle because of him.
That's right.
And then he brought oppression on and death, which ended up being death on his own children
Hmm.
because of his wickedness.
That's right. Yeah.
His wickedness became oppression. It became the burden on not only the nation but on his own family,
Right.
and it got them killed. So that is a excellent point, brother.
Great.
But he wasn't thinking about what is this going to do to my family.
That's right. Yeah.
How is this going to affect my brother? And that's what we do because we selfish. We so selfish. Man, period, is so selfish. A lot of times we make these decisions. We don't even think, don't even care, man. How is this going to affect my family? How is this going to affect this person over here? We
Right.
just out here just going off the hip, making rash decisions, and we don't even take thought to how is this going to affect, what position is this going to put my family in, what position is this going to put whoever in if I make this move like this.
Right.
Because everybody's so caught up in what they want. I want this, I want it to be like this, but maybe what you want ain't good for everybody else
That's right.
that you got a relationship with. What you want, it might fulfill the your fleshly desire of what you want, but then if you got a spouse, if you got children, or if you got, or anybody, man, that you dealing with, uh or you living with, you gotta think about how is this gonna affect them.
That's right. Yeah.
If you gonna go out and buy the $150 steak, yeah, you might feel good, but if that's gonna stop you from putting groceries on the table for the next 3-4 days so your kids can eat,
That's right.
then you gotta say, man, forget that steak. We're gonna get some ground beef.
Right.
and eat tacos for 2 days and hamburgers.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But we just don't, because we've been conditioned to be selfish.
Yeah.
Um and then when you oppressed, or you grow up and you don't have a lot, then when we do get a little bit of something, man, we try to clench it, and
Mhm.
we don't want to tell nobody else how to. I came up some, but now I'm gonna keep it to myself. I'm not gonna
Right.
tell my brother
Right.
how they can come up, how they can benefit. You start to, any little thing, any little substance you get, you start to clutch it.
Yeah.
You know, you covet it. So you know what I'm saying, and all of that, all of that is a result uh, of just having that selfishness on
That's right.
you,
Yeah.
and not looking at your brother or your sister as looking at them like, this is my kinsman. Let me help them out.
That's right.
So then they can help their family, and they help them out. They help the next person out. We don't do that as a people. Other nations do that.
Right. Yeah.
They help each other because they know it's beneficial for their whole nation.
Mm.
You know, us, it's all about, with a lot of us, it's just about me and what I want. And I don't care how it affect nobody else.
Right.
It's about what I want. And we bring um, unnecessary affliction and oppression on our own family when we make them kind of decisions.
That's right.
Uh, we make it harder for everybody else because we so selfish, and we don't care. We don't take thought about the other person or the other people that we responsible for, or we got something to do with taking care of. Uh, but again, brother, that was excellent, because hey, he got his family killed.
Yeah.
In the end, he got his family killed. Because of him.
Yeah.
Uh, but let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel 7. Because we kind of want to get into what the Lord really was, what he had Ezekiel write about
Hmm.
how the people was acting.
Right.
And just so the listeners can know that, listen, man, this again ain't nothing new. This is from the beginning all the way on down. You had brothers oppressing their own brothers.
That's right.
You had kinsmen oppressing their own people. Um, and it was especially true with Israel. Especially true with Israel.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 7, brother. We're gonna read verse 8, and then we're gonna skip to verse 23.
Okay.
Ezekiel 7, and read verse 8.
Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations.
So we just putting the groundwork in. The Lord say, look, man, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you what you got coming,
Mhm.
because this how y'all want to get down. Skip down to verse 23.
Yeah. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence.
Look, he say the land is full of bloody crimes,
Yeah.
and the city is full of violence.
Hmm.
They was doing that to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't like they was going out conquering some other nation and putting them under servitude. No,
No.
they was doing it to each other. He said, man, look, the land is full of bloody crimes.
Yeah.
The city is full of violence. Look in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're going to see the same thing. It's full of violence. But 99.9% of the time, it's the people that's doing it to each other, the same people. They look like each other.
Look like each other. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, let's pay attention to this and understand that. Look, man, let's not oppress each other, especially dealing with all the other oppression that we got to go through from the other nations. Why we want to do it to each other? But this is what this people been doing. It's been going on for a long time. You understand? Your biggest oppressor is a lot of times gonna be your own brother. He's man. If the city is city full of violence, the land is full of bloody crimes. That man, they don't care. They just buck wild. They doing any and everything to each other.
Yeah.
This is why the Lord. This is one of the reasons the Lord said he was gonna he was gonna pay them back. He was gonna judge them for this.
That's right.
You know, because they could not only could they not stop serving other gods, they couldn't even live at peace with each other. They couldn't stop hating and afflicting and oppressing their own brother or sister, which is still true today. Let's go ahead and go to Ezekiel the 22nd chapter.
Yeah.
Because we still want to look at this a little more and just try to show again what the people were doing.
Yeah.
And not much has changed now. It's the same story.
That's right.
It's the same story. Ezekiel 22, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 9. Now the Lord is again, he got Ezekiel telling, prophesying about what the people are doing. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see why it was bloody crimes in the land, and why the city was in the condition it was, because he's gonna start to tell you some of the stuff that they was actually doing.
Right.
Ezekiel 22 and verse 9, brother. Go ahead.
And thee are men that carry tails to shed blood.
Uh-huh.
And in thee they eat upon the mountains. In the midst of thee they commit lewdness.
Uh-huh.
In thee have they discovered their father's nakedness. In thee have they humbled her that was set apart for pollution.
So they look, man, they buck wild.
Yeah.
They doing anything and everything. Go ahead.
And one have committed abomination with his neighbor's wife.
Uh-huh.
And another have lewdly defiled his daughter-in-law. And another in thee have humbled his sister, his father's daughter.
Uh-huh.
And thee have they taken gifts to shed blood. Thou hast taken usury and increased. And thou hast greatly gained of thy neighbors by extortion, and hast forgotten me, says the Lord God.
See, this why the land was filled with blood.
Yeah.
This why all the violence was there. Why? They extorting their neighbor. You laying with your father's daughter. You just doing whatever wickedness came to their mind, they was doing it. You know what I'm saying? You sleeping with your neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
See, you doing all of this, which is gonna cause some bloodshed.
Yeah.
This is the result of the wages of sin is death.
That's right.
So when you got all this sin going on, yeah, violence is gonna come behind it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't only eternal death, but it's death even in this life.
Yeah.
When you got all this going on, people gonna die.
Yeah.
People gonna get hurt. Somebody lay with your wife, man, and you catch them, you probably gonna bust his head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I mean?
And it happens all the time. You see it on the news. You see it on the news.
People end up dead because they done went out committing adultery.
Right.
And the other person, their solution was, hey man, I'm gonna kill both of y'all.
Right.
So you got this you got the bloodshed happening.
Yeah.
You extorting your neighbor. right? You extorting your neighbor. So now, that's more violence.
Yeah.
That's more oppression. And all of a sudden now the land is just defiled.
Mm.
Everybody's doing everything to their neighbor. But they was doing this to each other before the Lord really sent, before he sent, Nebuchadnezzar in to like really take out Judah.
Yeah.
Uh, and before he sent Assyria to take out the 10 tribes, man, they was doing this to each other.
Mm.
So this is something. This is the same nightmare happening over and over again.
Yeah.
And they was oppressing their own people. And this is what we do today. We oppress each other more than the other nations do in a lot of instances. Because I'm gonna live next door to you.
Right.
I'm probably not gonna. I'm probably not gonna live. I'm not gonna live next door to the CEO of the company I work for.
Right. Yeah.
I live next door to you. So most likely the person that's gonna be afflicting me more times than not, it's gonna be my neighbor. It's gonna be my brother or my sister. And once we can get away from this a little bit and understand that at least, look, we ain't gotta be friends.
Right.
We ain't gotta be buddies and all of that. But at least if we got this mutual respect, like, look, man, I ain't gonna make your life harder
Right.
and oppress you, and you ain't gonna do it to me. We cool.
Right.
We cool. I'm gonna live my life, you live yours, but at least I ain't gonna extort you,
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna try to lay with your wife. You ain't gonna do that to me. Um, we can have some peace,
Mm.
but again, we just showing that this is what the people was doing, and this is what got them in trouble.
That's right.
But we gonna move forward, brother. We gonna go to Acts, the 7th chapter,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's something you wanted to elaborate on here in Acts, the 7th chapter.
Yeah. And here we're gonna see that even when the prophets were sent, uh, you know, we like doing wrong so much, and when someone tell us right, what I'm saying, to get us out of trouble, uh, I don't want to hear that message, and they stoned them. They would kill them. I like what I'm doing, and the warning was always coming. So now, even in the New Testament, we can relate that to today. If we tell people today, like, it hasn't come to that, but the first thing, oh, here come these brothers with the Bible. We don't want to hear that message. But nothing else is working. So
Right.
Stephen is going to preach to his brothers, and he's going to mention some of this and watch how they oppressed him. Uh, Acts 7 and 51.
Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did, so do ye.
So he letting them know from the get-go, y'all don't listen, y'all don't want to listen, and your
Right.
fathers did the same thing. So, hey, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Verse 52.
Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers.
They even killed the master. He just breaking it down to these brothers, like like we was just reading how buck wild they were. So
Yeah.
Stephen is showing them how buck wild y'all was killing. Y'all even killed the just one. And he
Right.
just breaking it down to them, let them know y'all been oppressing each other and hurting each other, and you won't listen when someone is telling you to do right. Verse 50.
Because the Lord sent, amen, the prophets that he sent, he sent Israel. He sent their brothers to him.
Yeah.
To try to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
It wasn't no stranger he sent. He
Right.
sent their own brothers.
Your own family members somewhere down
your
the
own
line.
family members, your own kinsmen. That's who he sent to the people. He sent their own kinsmen to him to try to get them to stop.
Yeah.
But 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 they didn't care nothing about that.
Nah.
And then they did the same. They did the same thing to the master.
Yeah.
He came in the flesh from the tribe of Judah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it didn't matter because they didn't have that love for each other.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They thought nothing of oppressing their own,
Yeah.
but they had been like that, and that's I don't know if I think we did put that in the lesson. We will, but that's why the Lord told him, man, y'all talking that stuff about what you wouldn't have did. He said, but you the children of them people
You the children of them
that
people,
killed them
right?
prophets. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
You the
what
children,
you
right?
talking about? This is some generational stuff y'all been doing. Y'all been killing and oppressing each other for
Yeah.
generations, man. You the
Man.
children of them people. You know, like they were so holier than thou. You know,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have did that. Yeah, you would have.
You would have done it. I
You would have done
mean,
it.
even Jesus said, he was like, my mother's children were angry with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that like you said, from the time that a brother came out, just like with Cain and Abel. Cain was doing righteous, you know what I'm saying? Abel was doing righteous and Cain was
Yep.
doing wicked. So
Right.
Cain didn't like that. As soon as you're doing
Right.
something right. So even
Yep.
here, he said, you betrayers and murderers. And then he said in verse 53,
Who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it.
uh-huh.
When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth.
And that's how family get, man. They get so angry with you because they know they
Right.
wrong. But instead of
Right.
like that's that selfishness, instead of just, hey man, we sinning. We need to stop sinning and go to the Lord, repent. Instead of that, they refuse that. No, we're gonna get worse and worse. So now they done gnashed on them with their teeth in verse 55.
But he, being full of the Holy Ghost, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of God and Jesus standing on the right hand of God, and
Uh-huh.
said, behold, I see the heavens open and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of God.
Now they doing all this to him, and he's like, "Look, man, I looked up, I done seen the glory of God and everything, and look how they feel about that."
Then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears and ran upon him with one accord and
Family
cast him,
members,
yep,
family members.
his own
Okay.
kinsman, and cast him out of the city and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their clothes at a young man's feet whose name was Saul.
Hmm.
And they stoned Stephen, calling upon God and saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep.
Now this is so, I mean, dynamic. How this man was telling his own people about their sins, what they've been doing, all the wrong. All they had to do was repent and change. They steadily getting worse and worse. And even though they beating on them and stoning them, he's saying to the Lord, like, hey, don't lay this on their charge. But the Lord's
Right,
saying, I'm still gonna deal with these people for all you murdered this man. You know what I'm saying? You would not
right,
listen to his words, you know what I'm saying? And he's giving you my word. So just like today, like even in our own families today, you go and give them scriptures and they, man, I don't want to hear that. You're gonna keep doing what you're doing. Well, we separate ourselves, you know what I'm saying? But they even called
right,
on the name of the Lord while they were stoning this man, like they doing something right. And that's coming too, like we can read in Matthew 24, I believe, where it says they're gonna be just thinking they doing what's right by killing us. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's just different stages of this from a generation way back, the fathers, and now all the way up to this generation. We still doing the same thing. You see it on the
It's,
news and
yep,
everything.
yep. And we still got that complex that we don't want to listen to each other.
Yeah,
If a Gentile come tell you something, or somebody of another nation come tell you, you believe it.
you
Hook,
believe that?
line, and sinker. It got to be true.
Yeah,
But if your own brother come tell you, you're like,
no,
man, that such and such, they don't know what he talking about.
right, right,
I ain't listening to that. We got the same complex today, man.
yeah,
We didn't listen to our own brothers when they came with righteousness and with the word of the Lord, and we don't listen to each other today. We just don't.
That's
We
right.
we trust it. We trust the words. We trust the words of another nation, of somebody of another nation, over the words of our own people.
Yeah.
Um, and that's you know that's how it go.
Yeah.
That's how it go. They refuse to listen, and this was their own kinsman,
I don't care.
their own brother of the same nation,
Mm.
and they didn't want to hear it, and they end up killing them.
Yeah.
Killing them. They end up killing them because he was trying to give them the word of God
Right.
and let them know their error.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they ain't want to hear none of that. Like you said, they
Mm-hmm.
ain't want to hear none of that, man. So uh the end result was, man, let's stone them, right?
Yeah. Let's get them
Just
out the
like
way.
just like in the days, just like in the days of Joseph, his brother
Yeah.
was like, look, man, let's kill him and throw him in this pit, man.
Right. Yeah.
Let's get him out the way, man. He's saying something we don't want to hear. He
Right.
come this dreamer with
Yeah.
all these dreams he got. Well, let's see. Let's see
Mm.
what's gonna happen. Let's see what's gonna happen of his dreams when we kill him and throw him in this pit.
Right.
But it's the same thing. It's brothers being afflicted by their own.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers being the oppressor of their own brother, or their own oppressing their own kinsmen. And
Yeah.
this is all through the book. And this is in live and in living color today.
That's right.
Uh, and amongst our people, man. We oppressed by our own people. We oppress our own people. A lot of times, more often than an outsider does.
Yeah.
But let's move forward, man. We're gonna go to John 8
Yep.
and verse 37, because you wanted to touch on
Yeah.
this exchange Christ was having with these.
Yeah. And again, Christ came out of the tribe of Judah, and what I'm saying, we dealing with Israel again, and uh, they was having this conversation about Abraham. So the Lord is going to break it down, and we're going to see the response from you know, from the same family, our family, and see what the Lord just come on out and say. So John 8:37.
I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word have no place in you.
So right off the gate, he said, I know y'all trying to kill me because my word have no place in you. Just like earlier, and when he was preaching to them, they got so mad they wanted to grab him and throw him down the hill head first. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how they cut when you hear these words. But verse 38.
I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father.
Uh-huh.
They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus saith unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham.
And people can go and learn something from Abraham because his works was righteous. He kept the
Right.
law, statutes, commandments. But he's gonna show them like, hey, you doing the works of your father, but it ain't talking about Abraham. He gonna let them know though. But go ahead.
But now you seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth, which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham.
He putting the real strength on him right there. Like, hey man, you seeking to kill me because I told you the truth. And that's what we have today as well. Like people get mad at us. Yeah, it ain't came to the killing, but the point is, this
Yep.
is what's going on in the past. That's the future. And he's saying, because I've told you the truth, you seek to kill me. And now he
Right.
gonna
His
tell you the
his own
deeds.
his own kinsman according to the flesh.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't no outsider, man. He was according to the flesh, he was their own kinsman.
Own
But
kids.
but all they looking at is, man, we need to shut him up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same story,
Same story.
we need to do something about him. So now they want to kill him because he messing up their program.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, he messing up, the little system they done set up, and people start listening to him,
hmm
and now they like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
right.
Because they thinking they thinking on something different. They thinking about uh uh he messing with the money.
Yeah, yeah,
He messing with what we doing over here. We got to do something about this dude, because it ain't got nothing to do with, hey man, this is our brother,
right,
and one of our own is coming,
right.
and hey man, they ain't want to hear none of that.
Nah,
They ain't care nothing about that.
nah.
All they wanted to do was get rid of the one who trying to buck the system, who
That's
trying to
right.
who got the audacity to tell them what they
Right.
ain't doing right and what
Yeah.
they need to do. Verse 41.
Yes, sir.
Ye do the deeds of your father.
Mm.
Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God.
Uh-huh.
Jesus said unto them, if God were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Now we read earlier that if you hateth your brother, then you in darkness and you ain't got eternal life.
You
So he
abide in
telling if
death.
you, and that's the opposite of love is hate. So if he
Yep.
telling you don't love me and all that lewdness and all that bad behavior we read in Ezekiel, he's
Yeah.
saying, we wasn't born in fornication. Y'all was doing everything. Y'all was using
Right.
people. Y'all was still oppressing your own family members, your own
Mm-hmm.
brothers. And then as soon as someone tell you you're wrong, just like they killed Stephen a couple of chapters ahead, they gonna try to do Jesus the same way. But
Yeah.
he
And then
coming
and
out
then
telling,
and then gonna proclaim that you a
yeah,
child of God.
yeah. Oh, I'm holy.
Cause that's what people do. Oh, I'm holy, but come
Yeah,
on, man. You do all kind of you do all kind of filth and
yeah,
and you ain't got no limitations. You do anything to anybody, but then you want to stand up and I knew this dude. I used to work with this guy, man, and man, this dude had some girl he was messing around with
mm.
at the job, but he was married. And
Ah, yeah,
he always started talking about, I'm blessed. And I'm like, man, that's just like that's just
yeah.
like us, man. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much wrong you do,
Right.
you gonna put God in and talk about how you blessed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, not even understand. You don't know who giving you them blessings.
That's
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
but
your
that's
father.
another. Yeah. Your father probably is giving you. Yeah, your father giving you them blessings. Probably is your father.
Yeah,
But it ain't God though.
right.
But but that's how this people is, man. They can be wicked. They can
Mm,
act foul, act crazy, talk crazy, but they gonna find a way to be godly in the
that's right.
midst of it. Just like Joseph, like they did with Joseph. Oh man, he is our brother. We can't kill him because he our
Right.
brother. So let's just sell him. Let's
Yeah.
sell him to the Ishmaelites. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's do that. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gonna you gonna try to make it less wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not but you're not gonna do right. So yeah, we still gonna get rid of them, but we just
Right.
ain't gonna kill them.
Yeah.
And that's that that's the mindset, man. When you got the wrong mindset, man, you start to make wrong be right.
Yeah.
You try
Yeah.
to spin it so wrong is right, you know.
Yeah.
And here, like you say, they talking about we ain't born in fornication, man. But man, y'all was doing any and everything,
Mm,
you know. Now all of a sudden you holier than thou, but
right.
you trying to kill somebody, man, who doing miracles, healing people, and who trying to lead the people in the right path. You want to
Right.
kill him.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one you want to kill, the one that's doing righteous works. But then you want to but the ones that's doing wicked, you gonna turn the blind eye, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they wanted to let Barabbas go.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Strengthening the hands of evildoers.
And
Yep.
they knew he was a murderer,
Right.
but nah, we want him kill him. But we want to let the murderer live so he can go do it again.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the problem, man. That's why the cycle. That's why the cycle never stopped, man. Because the ones that's doing wrong, man, don't. Yeah, like you say, man. You see your brother doing something, and you don't say nothing.
Right.
So then, hey, man, you gonna strengthen their hand to keep
Yep.
doing it.
That's it.
And
That's it.
it's cool until they do it to you.
Yep.
Then once they do it to you, now you gonna have them. Now you get ready to have a fit.
Right. Yeah.
But you already knew how this person was. But as long as it was happening to somebody else, man, you turned a blind eye, or you probably said, man, you heard what he did to such and such. But then
Right.
when it happened to you, now you want justice.
Mm.
But man, you should have been seeking justice a long time ago when you seen that person out of the way doing
That's
something
right.
they had no business doing. Um, but nevertheless, that's how I go, man. We
Right.
because people don't want to tell nobody, look, man, that ain't the right way, because they know, man, you in danger of getting your head cracked.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I
Yep.
mean, that's how it is, man. When somebody people don't want to hear, don't want you to tell them, don't want you to, they don't want you to tell them nothing to make them think about what they doing.
That's right. Yeah.
People like to do things and not think. They just want to react. You know what I'm saying? Because when you just reacting, then ain't got to be no logic to it. I'm
That's
just
right.
I'm just reacting to the situation.
Right.
But if somebody sit there and try to talk to you and try to reason with you, then your brain start working, and that's when people start getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to hear that. I just want to react. I don't want you to. I don't want you to try to stop me from being wicked. I don't want you to try to stop me from hating this person or doing this to my brother or sister. I don't want you to make me feel bad for being wicked.
Right.
I just want to do wicked. I don't want to hear that. And that's what happened, and that's what happened with the prophets. That's what happened with Stephen.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the master, man. They ain't want him to, you know, they ain't want him to make them, feel bad for for, for being wicked.
Right.
They just wanted to keep doing what they was doing and not have to think about it.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
once he came and he started teaching the people, and then he started bringing things to them and putting them on Front Street. Now, hey, they want to kill him.
That's right.
Uh, I believe I'm at verse 43.
Yeah. 43.
Why do you not understand my speech, even because you cannot hear my word?
And they couldn't. Hey, can we throw that 44 in there just for a little flavor?
Yes, sir. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
So they were doing all the lying, they were doing all the stealing, they was doing everything. It was about money, they was all lewd and doing all type of things. So the Lord said, yeah, you doing these things and you doing them because your father is giving you this. This is what you're doing. He was from the beginning, and that's where Cain got that from. For him to slew his own brother, he was from that wicked one himself. So
Yep.
we see from way back from Genesis to even right here with Jesus, he letting them know. And even in our time, we see when you look on the news and we see it all in the streets, it's all over the place. People getting killed for this, carjackings and
Right.
rapes and murders. All this stuff is going on and in our neighborhoods, and we don't
Yep.
say nothing. But
Right.
as soon as the white man or another nation come in and shoot Johnny down, and Johnny was stealing anyway, but they done shot Johnny down. Now you want to protest and you want to do all this other stuff. No,
Right.
man, you gotta do this for the. This is hey, right is right. You know what I'm saying? The law,
Right.
statutes, commandments. So
Right.
they
Right.
like to see
And
this
and
stuff.
and listen, I know people get mad. Um, People get mad when the Gentiles say that y'all don't why y'all not showing that same why y'all ain't
Mhm.
protesting when your own people when y'all killing each other in your own neighborhood. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
But again, like I said earlier, man, if I'm what difference another nation see you doing this to your own people? They see us afflicting each other. They see us robbing each other. They see us shooting each other,
right.
and misusing each other. Why they gonna feel like that they got to do anything different?
Exactly,
You see what I'm saying?
exactly.
They gonna feel well. Hey, they do it. They do it to each other. So what difference do it make?
Right.
Um, but again, this is just to bring out that your oppressor a lot of times is your own brother.
Yeah.
It's your own kinsman. We do this to each other, and the service of God. This is something that we gotta get out of.
That's right.
And this is something that look we gotta be aware of. Let's not oppress each other because we got enough problems and all these other things that just come with being living in this flesh.
That's
We
right.
got all these other burdens. Let's not add more burdens or more oppression on each other because we don't have to do that.
Right.
Um, and let's try to be more supportive of each other,
Mhm.
especially when you got the knowledge of the truth.
That's right.
If you got the knowledge of the truth, then it ain't no way that you should be out here trying to add affliction to your own brothers and
Right.
sisters. You shouldn't be trying to make their life harder or make it, or make whatever they doing make it more difficult. You shouldn't be putting stumbling blocks in front of your own people
Right.
when you know better. When you know better, that shouldn't be.
That's right.
Um, that just shouldn't be like when Paul was telling them Gentiles. He say, hey, man, this shouldn't be a man sleeping with his father's wife.
Right.
He said, man, don't let that be mentioned amongst you. Like,
Yeah.
and he said, then, man, he said, y'all puffed up
Hmm.
because instead of y'all dealing with it, you let it go, like whatever. I'm paraphrasing here. But he
Right.
said, man, look, y'all puffed up because y'all didn't do nothing about it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But he said, man, y'all should have, you know, y'all should have separated him. Y'all should have put, y'all should have, let him, you should have put, separated him so that he know, like, man,
Right.
this ain't that kind of this ain't that kind of party over here.
That's right. Yeah.
If that's what you doing, man, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You ain't bringing it up in here. And he said a little leaven if the whole lump, because that's all it take, man, just a little bit,
That's right.
and it's gonna get out of hand. And that's what happened back in the land, man. It was just, it just got out of control. Like he say, man, they doing all kind of lewdness. You laying with a woman that's on separated, menstrual.
Right.
You laying with your father's daughter. You you know you just doing just any and everything.
Yeah.
And now the land is filled with all this violence, but you doing it to each other.
Yeah.
You doing it to your own. You extorting your own brother. You know, you killing your own brother.
Mm.
Y'all doing it to each other. But this has been the same thing that's been going on. It's been going on a long time,
That's right.
and it's going on today. I don't want to keep repeating myself like that, but this is the reality. And once we understand that, man, we can maybe start to treat each other a little bit better. You know,
Right.
I'm not I ain't no I ain't crazy, man. I know all of a sudden the whole the whole nation, we all gonna all of a sudden be out here holding hands and and
Yeah.
and
Right.
and love and walking around in love. But at the same time, man, the book is showing us one of the reasons for our downfall as a people. You see what I'm saying? It's in the book. And what you keep seeing is when we oppressed each other, when we abused each other, what happened?
Yeah.
It brought the nation down. It got us put in captivity. It got us in this same captivity, but we doing the same things that our forefathers was doing when they was in the land. We doing the exact same stuff.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we getting and it ain't getting no better. The result is the same.
Mm.
You know, our neighborhoods is filled with blood. It's filled with violence because of these things.
That's right.
So this is just what we're trying to bring out. But let's go to Matthew 23,
Okay.
and we're gonna pick it up at verse 29. Matthew 23, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 29.
All right. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous.
See, letting them know, look, and he talking to the ones who was supposed to be leading the
Mhm.
people,
That's right.
spiritually leading the people. He said, man, y'all build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. Go ahead.
And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets.
He say, look, man, you the children of them
That's right.
that killed the prophets.
Yeah.
You talking about what you wouldn't have did. Nah, you the children of them people,
That's
you
right.
know, because it didn't end. It didn't end. It just carried on from generation to generation.
That's right.
This thing of feeling like it's okay to do harm to your brother or sister, to your own people, to
Yeah.
afflict them, to make their life hard. Okay, you having a bad day, so now you gonna go out here and you gonna go find somebody that look like you, and you gonna do something to them.
Right.
You gonna take it out on your own people. You gonna take it out on your own family. And this is the mentality that they still had, because who was they trying to kill from
Yeah.
Jump Street? They was trying to kill a master. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
You're right.
And he was according to the flesh. He was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
He was their own. He was their own kinsman. And hey, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to kill him.
That's right.
So they had the same mentality they forefathers did. And they had that same, and that same thing carries down today.
Yeah.
A lot of us feel like it's okay to do wrong and do violence and extort our own people, but then we go out and we treat the Gentile and them other nations, we get them all the respect in the world.
Sure do. Yeah.
But to each other, we don't give each other no respect. We we
Yeah.
we treat each other in any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? And uh, even when you break it down in the household, you know, A man he don't he talk to his wife any kind of way. He don't respect her, but then he gonna go to work and he gonna show some other woman more respect than he show his wife.
That's
Some
right.
other woman of another nation.
Yep. Yep.
Then you got a woman who talk crazy to her husband.
Mm.
Don't talk to him respectfully, but then she gonna go to her job and she gonna talk to the Gentile or some other dude of another nation. She gonna talk to him with 100 times more respect than she give her husband.
Right. Yeah.
And that's sad that we feel like that we don't have, we not obligated to do that with each other.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
not talking about just in a marriage, but I'm just saying just as kinsmen, as brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
we feel like, man, I ain't gotta respect you because you black.
Mm.
So I ain't gotta respect you like that. But you gonna go respect the Gentile and the people of other nations. You gonna get them all your respect. But then your brother, you ain't gonna respect him at all. Your sister, you ain't gonna respect them. You see what I'm saying? And that's our mentality.
Yeah.
That's the way we think. And we've been doing that for so long. Sometimes you do it and don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it. You're like, man. But man, look, me and you the same. Why wouldn't I show you respect?
Right.
Why wouldn't I call you sir? I'm gonna
Mm.
call this other dude sir,
Right.
but
Right.
I ain't gonna call you sir, but you my brother. So
Exactly.
so what's the problem? You see what I'm saying? But that's been ingrained in us, man. And this is what we got to start to come out of, man. We need to be showing each other all that respect we get to the other nations. We need to get that same respect to each other,
Right.
because that's what's going, that's what's going to help, you know, uplift. Because it feel good, man, when somebody, when one of your own brothers or sisters, man, show you respect.
That's right. Yeah.
It makes you feel good. You see what I'm saying? You're like, man, cool. Because now you know immediately that you and that person, that y'all got to understand it. You're not on edge no more.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A lot of times, man, when you see another brother, you know, they might have a look on their face. They might just be having a bad day. You don't know the reason, but it's tension.
Mm.
But then all of a sudden, when y'all say, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" You go, "Hey, brother, how you feel?" And then y'all
Right.
maybe have a little conversation. All of a sudden, the tension is gone, and now you know that brotherly love is there. But we ain't learned to bring that out in the situation.
Mm.
A lot of times, man, we rather keep the tension there
Right.
because it's like your defense mechanism or something. So you rather keep the tension instead of seeing if you can get rid of that tension and let the brotherly love show, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we so separate. We so distant from each other, man, because we keep each other at arm's length
Yeah.
because we don't feel like that we have to be we have to exercise that brotherhood with each other or sisterhood with each other.
Mm.
We rather keep keep that distance because we don't trust each other and all of that. We always looking at each other sideways.
Yeah.
But you won't look at nobody else sideways though. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We look at each other sideways, just like just like the other nations do. Every time we walk in the store, they looking at you like,
Right. Right.
like you about to come in there and steal, but
Right.
but then we turn around and do the same thing to each other, man. We always looking at each other with the eye suspect
Yeah.
without even having a cause. A lot of times it's just the fact that you see somebody black and you forget that they the same color as you. They
That's
they
right.
they the same nation as you. but they go out your mind, and immediately you looking at that other person like, man, I wonder what they on, you know,
Exactly. Yeah.
instead of
Oh,
saying, man, me and you the same.
right.
You know, why am I turning into the Gentile when I see
Exactly.
my brother? You
That's right.
know, and now I'm gonna look at you half cocked, and I don't even know you. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So, but that's, you know, again, that's a part of that oppression, man. We oppressing each other. We putting each other on edge. You on edge all these other times, then you can't even be around your own people without being on edge. Because
Right.
everybody looking around, everybody thinking you thinking the worst in your brother or sister when you see them. You always thinking the worst instead of really trying to embrace the fact that, hey man, I'm amongst my own people. I know it's hard, man. I know I'm a little slow, but I understand, man, because we act crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So of course,
Yeah.
man, you don't want to. You be like,
Right.
oh man, let me go ahead and go in the house. You know what I'm saying? Of
Uh-huh.
course, I understand, man. We act crazy, so some of that is warranted, but just trying to show, man, that we have been oppressing each other for so long, and we have been oppressed that we all out of whack.
Yeah.
We all out of whack because, but again, it's in the book. They was doing that to each other a long time ago.
That's right.
Um, Oppressing each other, killing each other. It ain't nothing new. But let's go to one more scripture, man. We're gonna go to this Isaiah, the 3rd chapter,
Okay.
and we're gonna pick it up at verse 1. And I wanted to end the podcast with this because, hey man, the Lord told him, man, since this is what you like, this is how you like living.
Uh-huh.
This I'm gonna give it to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You like this how you like to be, then I'm gonna like he told him in the wilderness when they kept crying about meat. So
Yeah.
okay, you want meat? He said, man, you gonna eat meat till it come out your
To the
nose.
nose.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna give you so much it's gonna come out your nose
Yeah.
since you gonna die without the meat, or you
Right.
rebellion you rebelling because you ain't got a little chicken.
Right. Yeah.
So he gave it to him, and this is kind of what the Lord is telling them here in Isaiah 3. But pick it up at verse 1, brother.
All right. For behold, the Lord of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water.
Skip down to verse 4.
And I will give children, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them.
And so he's saying, look, I'm gonna give children to be their princes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at your neighborhood, man, who running it?
Yeah.
Who running the
Them
house?
children.
It's the children.
Them
It's,
children.
it's children running the house.
Yeah.
You know, but because of how we did each other, because of how we disobeyed his commandments, and because how we was treating each other in the land, he said, hey, you know what? This what I'm gonna do. Since y'all ain't got no sense anyway, I'm gonna get children gonna be our princes.
Mm.
Verse 5.
And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor.
And he said, look, the people gonna be oppressed. Everyone by another, everyone by his neighbor. Ain't this what's happening
That's what's happening.
in your neighborhood? Ain't this
Yeah.
what's happening
Yeah.
with your people? Everyone being oppressed by his neighbor. On top of what the other nation's gonna do to you.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
gotta you gonna come home to your neighborhood, to where you live at, where you should have some peace, you know. But
Right.
Lord say, yeah, nah, children gonna be our princes, and everybody gonna be oppressed by his neighbor. Finish that verse 5, brother.
The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honor.
And that's what's happening, man.
That's right.
You
Yeah,
know, a child behave, yeah, because they the princes. So
that's
they,
right.
man, I ain't gotta respect you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know you 30 years, 40 years older than me. I ain't gotta respect you.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying? But this was our doing. You know, you since this how y'all want to be, yeah, all right. This is how I'm gonna make this. The Lord made that he made that permanent.
Yeah,
Y'all like mistreating each other, using each other. All right, then everybody gonna be oppressed by his neighbor.
yeah,
The people you gonna oppress each other. So this is why we see this happening. You know, in our neighborhood.
yeah.
This is why we deal with each other the way we do. Because we refuse to love each other,
Right.
which the Lord commanded. He told you don't hate your brother in your heart. You ain't supposed
That's
you
right.
want, but because we had that hate, we oppressed each other. We killed each other. We killed the
Mm,
prophets. We extorted each other. We
yeah,
committed adultery with your neighbor's wife, and all of that.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what you like. Then hey, this the condition you gonna be in.
That's right.
Um, and so that's why we had the messed up relationship we have with each other as a people. Because hey man, our forefathers oppressed each other.
Yeah,
They used each other, and now we dealing with it. We dealing with the fallout, but we
yeah.
doing the same thing today. But we just again on the podcast, we just trying to bring out that hey, one of the main problems, with us is, which comes again from a lack of, you know, brotherly and sisterly love. Hey, your oppressor a lot of times is gonna be your own brother,
That's right.
you know. Um, did you want to add anything, brother, before we close out?
Hey, like the Lord say, owe no man anything but to love, one another. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And all this happens when we disobey God, ultimately. I
Yep.
mean, if without God in our life, this is what we get, and because we turned on him, he had to give us over to this in order for us to see things for what they are. And we still will not turn. Like the Lord was pleading with us way back then. He was telling them, look, hey man, y'all been killing the prophets, everyone that's sent to y'all.
Yep.
Stephen screaming out to him. Paul was screaming out to him. I mean, all the apostles, all the prophets, and now even in our time, like you said, the children are running the streets, man. You come outside from a hard day week, what I'm saying, or work, you come home and the kids up and down the block, you can barely get in your driveway, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and then you don't want to come outside because you don't feel like dealing with it. But
Right.
you
Yep.
know, all this been prophesied, man. If we just turn to our God, the Lord is straightening this out. But until the Lord returns, this look like this is the rest. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're gonna have to just,
Yeah.
endure it to the end, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely as a whole, as a people, gonna have to deal with it, man. That's the burden we got to deal with. But
Yeah,
as servants of God, as people, those who had a knowledge of the truth, man, who are blessed to know and understand, because this is a blessing to
amen.
understand the word of God. It's a blessing, man. It ain't, some of us take it like, you know, we so special, and we was deserving, but hey man, any one of us, bro, could have just been, still be blind,
That's
still
right.
not understand, man. This is a blessing.
Yes.
And so for those that understand the word of God and understand the will of God and know the true and living God, you know, we got to understand that let's not follow the same bad examples
Exactly.
that got the people in trouble.
Hmm.
And one of them things is look, we can't oppress each other.
Right.
Let's not oppress our own brothers and sisters. Uh, we gotta operate, at a higher standard, man. We can't just keep doing what we doing, what we used to do, or we can't fall into doing what everybody else is doing, because we know better.
Yeah.
So being mindful of that, man, um, we can better, build these relationships with each other and show that brotherly love and that sisterly love that we was commanded to show.
Amen.
Love your neighbor as yourself. We can do that better once we understand that one of the issues is us oppressing each other,
Right.
afflicting each other, and then we could kind of, just just do some things in a more profitable, better way. You know.
Amen.
So with that, brother, I want to thank the listeners for joining us here on the Biblical Resolutions Podcast, which is brought to you by the House of Jacob Bible Study Class, located at 2515 East 75th Street in Chicago, Illinois. Once again, we want to thank you for tuning in with us. Lord willing, we will be bringing you more episodes. And as always, peace in the mighty name of Jesus.